welcome to an off-wheel side-by-side video. You've probably all seen the video where I monitored traffic on a road on the A547, where I pointed out how many SUVs went past me in a certain amount of time. It probably came across that I'm anti-SUV. No, I'm not anti any vehicle so long as it's used in the right context. An electric vehicle, they're ideal for city commuting, to and from the city, going to work, running the kids to school, going shopping. They're ideal for that, but not the big ones that we're running around in. They're just a waste of space and too expensive. SUVs are in the same context. They're too big and they're too expensive, and they're a waste of space in most instances. Now, if you use an SUV in the context of a big vehicle and it's going to get used as a vehicle, not just for carting you about, the one and only person that ever drives it, just backwards and forwards to work. Now that is a waste. You don't need a vehicle that big. Let me tell you a story now. I've got a friend, I've known him for about 13 years. He bought a business. He bought a Chinese takeaway 13 years ago. When I first met him, there was him, his wife, and two sons, and they were only like 3 and 4 years of age, so they were only nippers. And he had a D4D Avensis Estate, which was his everyday car. His wife didn't drive at the time, so that was their only car, and that's what they ran around in. When he bought the business, that business was a successful Chinese takeaway. And with most Chinese takeaways, they do a delivery service. Well, at the time, when they bought it, the previous owners only ever did deliveries on a Friday and a Saturday night. And it brought in extra business over the weekend, which helped them grow the business year on, year out. My friend said, no, that's not the way to do it. You need to do deliveries every day of the week. So he said to me, I need to get a van. I said, why do you need a van? He said, well, I can't get all the stock that I need to go and buy in the Avensis. It's not big enough. So I said, okay. If you buy a van, you've now got two vehicles you've got to keep on the road. You've got a van that you're going to use maybe once or twice a week, and you've got a car that you're going to use for the rest of that period. Have you considered something bigger than the Avensis? Like a big SUV, which will do as a family car for you, your wife and the kids. And also, when you put all the seats down, you've got more space to go and get your stock from Liverpool and Manchester the twice a week that you go over. And he hadn't thought about an SUV. So he says, well, what do I buy? I said, well, you're running a Toyota now. It's got over 200,000 miles on it. It's never let you down. Why don't you just stick with Toyota? And the biggest SUV they made at the time was the Highlander. That's not what he wanted. He wanted to jump onto the hybrid bandwagon or buy a diesel. I said, well, diesel's not the way to go, really, because you do your majority of your running around from home to the business and back home again 5 days a week. Then you disappear and go and get your stock. Get yourself a RAV4 hybrid, and that'll suffice as a multi-purpose vehicle. It'll work as a van, and it'll work as a family runabout, and it'll be cheap to run, and it'll be reliable, and it'll never let you down. So that's what he went and bought. In 2016 he bought a RAV4, top of the range, XL, leather trim, everything. It was a nice vehicle. A couple of months ago, because he'd now got like 200,000 miles on this RAV4, and the only thing we ever replaced on it was one 12-volt battery. It had never let him down. So he says, I could do with a newer car. I went and popped into the Toyota dealership that I buy my cars from. I was there one day. I popped down to get some bits because I was doing some work on another Toyota and I wanted filters for it. And whilst I was there, parked in the car park, was a 22 plated RAV4 that somebody had just bought back. There'd been a bereavement in the family or something, had been returned to Toyota. So we're looking at a max 12-month-old RAV4. Again, it was an XL, but it was the later generation, the new shape. And I knew he was looking for a new car, so I rang him up. And he dropped what he was doing, picked his wife up, came down, and we had a good look at this RAV4. And it's bigger than the old one, there's more room in it. And he bought it there and then. And it's only got 15,000 miles on it. It's a really, really nice RAV4 hybrid. Now, what I'm getting at in this instance is, he uses this vehicle as a multi-purpose vehicle. He uses it as a van, he uses it as a family runabout. But now there's not just him, his wife and the 2 sons, he's also got a daughter. Okay, she's 11 now, but that's 3 kids in the back, mum and dad in the front, and any luggage and anything they're carting about goes in the RAV4. So they use that big vehicle as it was intended to be used, and he uses it as a workhorse. It's his stock go and getter. So in that context, I don't mind that SUV being on the road. It works and it's fit for purpose in that instance. What I don't like about them is the people that buy them when they don't need them. It's a status symbol. That's the bit that annoys me. They buy bigger and bigger and bigger SUVs that they'll only ever be them in the car, or them and maybe 2 children in the morning going to and from school, and mum will go to school, or dad will do the school run, and then he'll go to work, and he'll fill an entire bay up in a car parking facility, and then somebody will park next to him, and you can't open the doors because the car's too big for the bay. The car's too heavy, the car's too expensive for that. That particular SUV is not fit for purpose. They'd have done better with Corolla Estate, or a small pocket rocket hatchback, which would do what they need it to do. But SUVs have become a status symbol. Every advert you see on the telly these days is SUV, SUV, SUV. And you've only got to look how the market's going now. Volvo, they don't make a car anymore that's available. You can only buy Volvo SUVs. You look at the Ford range, it's all sports utility vehicles, SUVs, the entire range. Vauxhall have gone the same way. Peugeot are going the same way. Citroën have gone the same way. They're pushing everybody to buy vehicles that are too big and they're not fit for purpose. We don't need these big vehicles on the road. 99% of people can get away with a vehicle no bigger than a Corolla Estate. Those that need SUVs, they bought them for a reason. Say you're a vet and you're going to a farm. The amount of kit you need to carry around, you need a big vehicle. That vehicle's now fit for purpose. It's got a job to do. You need a big vehicle, you buy a big vehicle. You use it as a big vehicle. Those that buy big vehicles because they want a status symbol, sorry, don't agree, don't like. Get something smaller, get something more economical. I want to know, where is the money coming from when we're meant to be in a cost of living crisis? And all you're doing is putting yourself further and further and further into debt. Because these vehicles aren't being bought, they're being leased at £600–700 a month, plus the massive down payment. And then they're whinging, we haven't got money for this, we haven't got money for that. But they're spending all that money on a vehicle they don't need. They could go and buy something smaller, halve their monthly payments, have some extra cash. That's all I've got to say on the subject. If the vehicle is being used for purpose, no problems. If it's being used as a status symbol like 99% of them are, sorry, it shouldn't be on the road. You shouldn't own it. Buy something smaller. Thank you once again for watching the North Wales side-by-side video.